A lot of people are saying this game is essentially Warframe x Destiny 2. Surely there can't be anything wrong with the game combining those two, right? Right? The first Descendant is developed by Nexon, who previously worked on Dave the Diver, DNF Duel, and, regrettably, Blue Archive. Set in the Ingress continent, the world is under threat by an alien race known as the Vulgus. The Vulgus are invading Ingress in search of a resource that provides infinite energy known as the Ironheart. However, a small faction within the Vulgus rebelled and sided with the human race, providing their technology and giving rise to the Descendants. The storytelling here is very lackluster. It's not the kind of story that overflows you with information at the start, but the story it tells is incredibly generic. I was so uninterested in the story that I kept skipping all the cutscenes. It doesn't help that some of the English voice acting also feels like it has no direction. I don't have much to say here, just it sucks. Actually, the only thing I want to bring up is this. Who the fuck names their alien villain boss Greg? The first Descendant is a third-person looter shooter. You can choose from a roster of different characters called Descendants, each with their own set of abilities you can use in battle. Each Descendant and the weapons you pick up can be modded using a carbon copy of Warframe's modding system. Other than that, the rest of the mechanics like mission progression, the hub world, and customization and looting system are ripped from Destiny 2. The core mission-to-mission gameplay is pretty fun for what it is. You run from place to place and shoot things along the way. It's simple, but it is fun. Basically, imagine if in Destiny, instead of choosing between a hunter, warlock, or a titan, you had to choose a starter Warframe, but then the rest of the game is cookie-cutter Destiny. That's the first Descendant for you. As fun as the game is, believe me, I'm enjoying it. It borrows too much from these two games to the point that it lacks originality. When I saw the mods I could equip on my weapon, I said, oh, so this is like Warframe. When I saw the main hub world after completing the opening, I said, oh, so this is like Destiny. You see what I'm getting at? None of the game's mechanics are unique, which prevents it from having its own identity. Even the Descendants' kits aren't original. Ajax's shield, directly copied from Volt. His ground slam ability is Rhino's passive. His fourth ability, Frost Snow Globe. His passive, which gives him void energy charges with his first three ability casts, thus enhancing his fourth cast, sounds unique, right? That's literally Protea's passive. The only thing that really works in the first Descendant's favor here is that the new player experience is much better than that of Warframe and Destiny, and that's in big part due to it being a brand new game. Warframe is so far along in its lifespan that if you started playing the game now, you'd need a friend to guide you through the basics like modding and the movement. And a majority of Destiny's content past the opening quest is locked behind the DLC expansion, so unless you have a friend willing to buy you every DLC up to the Witch Queen during Steam sale, you aren't gonna get far. The first Descendant actually has tutorials and pop-up boxes that explain how modding works. Everything is simple, which makes it more accessible to a general audience. At first, I was shitting on the game because I wasn't far enough in to realize you could earn Descendants for free instead of buying them, and I actually kinda like the first Descendant's crafting system over Warframe's. I don't know if it's unique to her because she's an integral narrative character, but the game just gave me Bunny's parts from completing the missions, and it took me a minute to craft her. Other Descendants look like they only need 16 hours to craft. It's much better than waiting 12 hours for 3 individual components to craft and another 3 days for the entire frame. The performance in this game is nothing to write home about. It works just fine with the default settings, but I am on a high-end rig, so I'm not sure how the performance would be on low-end PCs. However, I spent 4 hours playing this game with a friend, and he kept running into performance issues like intense blur, so it might be a case-to-case basis. So I'm going to take this time to bitch about the game's monetization. I have heard that Nexon has a reputation for making predatory games in the past, one of them being a gacha game. But holy shit, I have not seen corporate greed on a level this massive, and I play Fortnite. The biggest problem with the game is the Ultimate Descendant system. This is a carbon copy of Warframe's Prime Access system. The devs release an upgraded version of an already existing character with boosted stats. The character can be farmed in-game through a relic cracking system, but you have the option of buying them instead of grinding for them. When you look at what's included in an Ultimate Descendant pack when compared to Prime Access, it's nowhere near worth the money it costs. Let's look at the most expensive versions of both real quick since they have the most content. The premium ultimate packs for $100 have the ultimate Descendants with customizations for them, a unique spawn effect, 1 energy activator, this game's equivalent of an Organ Catalyst, 2 crystallization catalysts, this game's equivalent of Forma, and 1 Descendant slot. And in Prime Access for $140 you get a Prime Warframe and their 2 signature Prime weapons, 2 Prime Glyphs for your profile, the Accessories Pack which contains 2 90-day boosters and at least 2 extra accessories like a Syandana or alternate helmet, and just under 4,000 Platinum, the game's premium currency. When I look at these two side by side, Prime Access will always be a better deal because you get more bang for your buck. In Warframe 1 Organ Catalyst, Warframe Slot, and Forma cost 20 Platinum each, so if you got just one of each of them it would still cost just below $5. So the Ultimate Descendant pack is packing $5 worth of content alongside a $50 accessories pack for $100. What separates these two as well is that if your luck is as average as mine is, it'll take at most 2 hours to farm for a brand new Prime Warframe on release. I did that with Protea and Grendel. I've heard people say it'll take up to 30 hours to farm an Ultimate Descendant. I don't know whether that's attributed to poor luck or just BS drop rates. If it's the former, that's not entirely the game's fault. If it's the latter, that's definitely a problem. One last thing relating to the microtransactions I want to bring up. What makes different parts of Warframe good is that you can easily farm Platinum in-game. Most of the supporter packs the devs drop are purely cosmetic and are just that, a way to support the devs if you want to. If you don't have the money to spend on Platinum, you could just hop in a Void Fisher, farm a Prime set, and sell it on Warframe.market for some Platinum. As far as I know, you can't farm Caliber in-game, so it makes spending $20 on a Diet Organ Catalyst much more inexcusable. Buried deep within this game is the foundation of something good, but it's so overshadowed by its complete lack of originality and predatory microtransactions. Why would I play a more watered down version of Warframe with an even more predatory microtransaction system? It'll be a fun shoot the shit experience with my friends, sure, but you probably aren't going to see me play this on my own. The first Descendant is available on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series, and Steam. It's free to download with no upfront cost required to play it.